After 6 years, 3 months, and 11 days, the longest streak that anyone has ever held a Ratchet and Clank world record has finally come to an end. Now, of course, this is my streak, and I have to report on it, despite the fact that, I'm basically just self-owning for an entire video. But, I'm dedicated to the content. I'm dedicated to getting you all informed about the Ratchet and Clank world record, speedrunning history, progression, etc. And so this was too big of an update to not let you all know immediately. The world record has fallen from 27:59 by yours truly to 27:54 by fellow runner Tarna. And basically, I just want to take a little bit to explore his run and let you know how he did it, some highlights of the run, answer some questions. Is the run beatable? Am I coming back? Etc., etc. Let's dive into it. But first, before we do anything else, I have to show you all a little something. I have some merchandise. I should have done this before I started recording, but here we are. I have some merchandise. For those of you who are unaware, I am on an esports team. I'm on Team IQ Gaming. They've been a massive help to me. They are such an amazing organization. They're doing so much good work for me. We finally put out our first line of merchandise as of this week. It is a sticker pack of 3 of my Twitch emotes, Zemi M, Zemi A, Zemi N, to make my face very stretched out. I think if I do... Yeah, this was the original inspiration for the emote. I know this is horrific. I'm sorry. I'll never do that again, I promise. But yeah, so there's a couple things to note. It's $8 for all 3 stickers. And for the first batch of stickers, we actually have a nice little incentive. We were going to put this out last week, but when we got them shipped in from the company, there was a shipping error. The company accidentally sent us Zemi M, the first part, completely flipped. Oops, I accidentally hit my microphone there. They sent it to me completely flipped. Well, they didn't send it to me. They sent it to my team. And so we basically had to be like, hey, can you maybe fix this? But we still get all the stickers. And so we just have a bunch of unusable flipped Zemi M's. So we'll throw those in for the first 100, 150 people to buy this stuff. I'm not 100% sure how much quantity we have at the moment. But you can use discount code ZEM, X-E-M, all capitals. It's just my name. At checkout for 10% off. So you can get all 3 for $7.20 instead. We're also going to be putting out another line of stickers in the near future that I think a lot of you will like, featuring the ladies of Rift Apart. But we'll talk more about that later. For now, let's get into this, shall we? So I wanted to pick some key moments of this run to show you all. I wanted to start right here. Actually, I wanted to show you the very first planet because there's a really wild change that's happened to this planet over in the past. I forget exactly how long ago the strategy was found, but you'll see what I mean. So we start off normally like we do. Actually, you may already notice there's something a little off about Tarna's quick select. Tarna's quick select includes the suck cannon at the bottom instead of the whip. Now that's a kind of a weird change, but you'll see why that makes sense in a little bit here. So we're going to start off right here. We're going to charge forward like we normally do, side flip out of a charge, and here we're going to hit Cactus Proxy. Of course, the idea behind Cactus Proxy is that you have to charge into the cactus. Sorry, I can't. I'm used to doing 5-second increments. This run hasn't been uploaded to YouTube yet, I'm pretty sure, because Tarna just got it, and I think he's off drunkenly celebrating with some IRL friends. But basically, the idea behind Cactus Proxy is that when you land right here after the side flip, you're going to charge. You're going to cancel your charge by pressing circle, triangle, and L1 at the same time. That's going to send you. Well, actually, no, you don't do L1 for Cactus Proxy, so ignore what I just said. But you're going to do charge forward, double tapping R1. You're going to cancel with circle and triangle at the same time to swap to the turrets. You're going to mash circle to throw out a turret, and the turret throwing animation is going to launch you over this little cactus right here. And he's going to get just enough space to be able to long jump out of it. As you can see here, long jump into hyper strike to get through. Swaps back to the shock cannon while he's transitioning between the cutscene and this section. He's just charging through very simply. And now he gets to here. Charge, cancel, and then another charge. He pulls out the suck cannon. Now, this is very, very crucial. He dies as he enters the dropship. And look at this. So he's gonna start like holding down circle to use the suck cannon, right? And this is also the reason why he doesn't have Infernox armor. He has I forget what this one's called. It's not Carbonox. That's Ratchet 2. Electro Steel is also Ratchet 2. I forget the name of this armor. But that's why he has the second best armor instead of the first best armor. Because if you have Infernox armor, for whatever reason, you can't do this. So he stalls himself in place instead of dropping out of the ship with the suck cannon. Lands right here. Long jumps backwards, pulls out the whip, and whip jumps over the free fall trigger. This skips the entire free fall animation, skips the need to do a proxy at the end of the level, and he just can fall right into the cutscene. So let's take another look at that real quick, just so you can see all of that in sequence once again. So he dies as he enters, and the reason he dies as he enters, for those of you who don't know, there's a strategy on the next planet where if for some reason if you die here, it messes up the triggers on the next planet. This is PS3 exclusive, by the way, and you can only do this if you're playing on German and Spanish. I know that sounds fake, but I'm not kidding. So he's playing in German, so he dies as he enters the cutscene, and for whatever reason, it messes up the triggers when you get to Florana and allows you to skip right to the Quark fight. I'll even show you that. So he holds down circle for the suck cannon. He's not doing anything special here. He's just holding circle and just kind of hoping and praying. You know, like maybe 1 in every 10 runs gets past this. But this is a colossal time save. I mean, look at this. He's going to end the level at about 43 seconds, I believe. So he falls into the trigger. He ends, and there's a bit of a delay between when he splits here and when his capture card actually shows the end of the level, but he got a 43 Veldin. That is 10 seconds faster than the strategy where you just fall out of the ship. So that saves 10 seconds. Now, granted, again, you're going to be resetting a lot when you do that sort of a strat at the highest levels, but that's what you need to do to get world record at this point, right? So continuing on, just because I said I would show it, when you enter Florana, if everything goes according to plan, you just enter the Quark fight, you shoot him once with the Rhino. Tarna didn't have the sniper rifle on secondary as some runners do, so he had to fire 2 shots to kill Quark, so he does lose a second there. And he lost another second to just getting a long low, but that factors out later. But yeah, it's kind of interesting how that works. I can't really, no one really 100% knows why that works, or how you even get it consistently, but it works. It just works. So I wanted to jump ahead. I actually wanted to show you this because you know, a lot of people will probably ask the question, is this run unbeatable? Hold on, let me actually adjust the window here so you can see all of it. A lot of people will ask the question, is this run unbeatable? I actually kind of wanted to show you this. 1, to answer that question, and 2, to teach you all a very, very important lesson. And maybe you'll understand the lesson before I even get to explaining it, but I want to show you all. So he charges here. You're supposed to land over the water, but he lands in the water instead. That loses about a second. You're supposed to glide here. Oh, he misses the glide. That loses about another second or 2. You're supposed to land right here and then jump on top of the... Oh, he doesn't actually... Oh. Okay. Okay. All right, that's you know, wide angle, but that works. Okay, so surely he's going to get this in 3 hits, right? You kill the warship in 3 hits, so 1 triple... Oh, he missed the triple. That's another second, and he What? Let's take another look, shall we? So, again, I'm not even doing this to rag on Tarna. I want to be very clear about this. There's a very important lesson behind this. And it's not just me saying, wow, look at this run. It's not perfect at all. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's still world record, right? It's better than any of you bozos could do. It's better than what I could do currently. Yeah, so essentially the idea behind this, and the reason why I'm showing you this, these are mistakes. I'm not even 100% sure I have to really explain these mistakes too much. I mean, there's a reason why these mistakes happen, of course, and I could break down like, oh, he was trying to do this. But the reason why I'm showing you all of this is to make the point that it doesn't have to be perfect. So many runners who run these games feel like if they don't get like a jillion like seconds of time save out of the early game, that they should just reset and try again. If you don't get to the end of the game, you are literally never going to PB. Sometimes you have to be willing to bite the bullet, understand, okay, even though this run isn't incredible, I can still work with this. I'm not going to let it affect my mental state. I'm not going to let it send me into a tilt. See, look at that. He's laughing. He's smiling. He hasn't got a care in the world right now. He's just vibing with some friends in a call. And, of course, he closes out the rest of this level actually pretty strong at this point. So you get to see he does Daxx proxy over here. He's going to charge across this little gap, do a neutral long jump, hyper strike over, and then he's going to do a proxy right here into a wrench swing. Sorry, you're going to have to give me a second here. I'm getting a phone call from my barber, actually. Give me just 1 second. I'm not editing that out. I'll put a little timestamp. Sorry, so I'm getting this trimmed off. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. I'm so sorry about that, but that was actually a relatively urgent phone call. Basically, the point I'm trying to make with all this is that, Tarna knows it doesn't have to be perfect. He closes out, he's strong here, so he gets the proxy going. Despite some slop early on, he still lands the proxy, wrench swing into jump up here, and then he does a nice little insta-whip to get over into the cutscene trigger, which is super dope. That's a lot of revolutionized stuff over the past year, a lot of like little optimized stuff. So his Daxx, the end of his Daxx was pretty clean, but you can see there's like a lot of, not to dunk on the guy, but like a 129 Daxx is not amazing. Normally you're looking to get like, 122, 123, even 124 is acceptable, but this is even 5 seconds slower than that. But Tarna knows he doesn't need that. He's got plenty of time save. And as a matter of fact, I want to show you one of the biggest time saves that he has in this run. So a lot of you probably don't know about this strat. He's finishing up mission 2 of Marcadia right here. And if you may have noticed already, but if you've been a longtime fan of the game but haven't watched it in a while, you'll notice he actually does Marcadia immediately after Daxx. Now, normally what we do is we do Daxx into Obani Gemini into Blackwater into Marcadia. That's normally the order that we do it in. But there's a specific reason why we do Marcadia before all that nowadays, and it's right here. At the end of Mission 2, he charges out here to do the final snipe on the ship, and he actually swaps over to Lock Strafe and pulls out the turret. Now, a lot of you know from back in the day that you would hop in the turret, and a big section of this run is trying to shoot down the turrets as efficiently as you possibly can. Look what Tarna does here. And this was found by a runner. I never know how to pronounce his name. Rialy. I've heard 20 different pronunciations. Riallyy, I believe it is. I might be misremembering which letter is doubled, but I believe that's correct. Rialy found this strat where you take the turrets and you block Ratchet's path to the big turret using your mega turrets, and you're just allowed to snipe the ships now. You can just snipe the ships. And if done perfectly, so Tarna messed up the attempt once, so he loses like maybe 2-3 seconds. This is still going to save about 22 seconds over world record, which is amazing. Like that, this strat is revolutionary. The fact that it's like basically just allowed, and look at this swag. Tarna's just trying to swag out right here. It's basically just allowed this whole, it's a revolution in the game that we can do this thing that just skips this gigantic section of the run. I mean, obviously, in a perfect world, we just have a total Marcadia skip, but we'll take what we can get here, right? Like, we'll take a 20-second time save where we can find it. So I wanted to showcase those just to show you all where the crazy time saves have come from over the past year of this game, of optimization. You know, I know a lot of you probably don't watch other runners, which you should. You should be watching other runners if you like my runs, because there's so many incredible runners, and they all deserve so much love and support, which is why I love doing these sorts of video recaps to give a little bit of light to people you may not have known otherwise. I want to jump ahead, actually, and I want to show you a planet I normally don't show in recaps. This is actually Annihilation Nation. I wanted to show you all this because not only does it look super smooth, but Tarna was actually one of the revolutionaries for this level. There's a strat coming up called Tar Ninja, which was found jointly by Tarnawina and Ninja Ratchet. So Tarnawina starts out, and I kind of caught Ratchet in a T-pose here. So he spawns into Annihilation Nation, right? And you immediately go to the first mission, but you don't have to do the first mission at all. We've already done the other planets that you would normally have to do the first mission to, like, get to, right? Like, because normally you do Annihilation Nation set 1, and then you unlock the Tira guys, right? And then you go to Aquados, Tyrannosis, and then you go to Daxx, and then you go to Annihilation Nation 2. We've already done Daxx, and we've already skipped Aquados and Tyrannosis, so we don't need to do it. So we just skip it. So we death abuse, since it's the fastest way to get out of the menu, or of that section. We go to mission 2, and Tarna goes around the level, lands on this little spot. Take a look at this again. So immediately out of this, he pulls out the whip as he's dying. He charges over here, long jumps, hyper strikes on top of that at a very specific angle. You want to be holding, basically, you on the D-pad, if I can pull out my controller, as you're hyper striking, I'm just going to pull out my DS3, even though this is not what I normally run UYA with. You want to hold up left on the D-pad as you're hyper striking, and it gets you into the perfect angle to be able to do a whip jump out of it. He lands over here, does a really cool looking proxy. And the reason I like this proxy so much is because of the way that Tarna does it. This proxy can really mess you up if you're not careful. But Tarna does actually a bit of an early proxy, which I think is super smart. There's a lot of different ways that you can do different kinds of proxies. And what Tarna does, he actually cancels, instead of waiting until he would collide into the wall to cancel his charge and attempt the proxy, he cancels charge a little early and throws and starts doing the proxy inputs just a little bit earlier. And what this allows him to accomplish is there's a wall right here. Well, not right here. This is not where the proxy is. This, like, wall right here can be a little finicky depending on what angle you come at it from. But the way that he does this proxy completely prevents the wall from messing him up. So at this point, he can just do some cool out-of-bounds movement to get to the end of the section. And look at that. He activates the end of the level trigger from outside of the level, or outside of the final container. He kills Scorpio in 2 hits of the Rhino and death abuses, and he's out of there. It's a super sleek planet, it's one that I don't think gets enough love for how cool it is. Also, I just wanted to point out a 13... You can't see it because my webcam is blocking. My webcam is always in the way here somehow. 1348 is an unbelievable real guard time. So this is, like, normally, like, when I was running this game... consistently last year, if I ever got like a 14 flat or a 1401 Marcadia, which is the equivalent, that would be god tier pace. So this is 10 seconds faster than that, which goes to show like how much more optimized this game has gotten over the years. I'm actually going to leave myself over here if you don't mind, just so I can finish out the rest of this. I wanted to show you one last planet. I wanted to show you Command Center. 2828. That's the timestamp. So command center under pressure. Remember, I talked about this in my last video. When you're doing command center under pressure, you don't want to reinvent the wheel. You just want to do it. You just want to get the planet done. You want to do what you know you got to do. Focus up. Hit all the inputs. DWWR. Do what we've rehearsed. So that's exactly what Tarna does. He does a side flip, a delayed side flip here. He does a long jump into a hyper strike to get up on top of this platform. And look at this proxy. Very smooth proxy. Double jumps out to avoid any sort of wall bounce. Long jumps over here, long double jumps over here to get past the pipe. And then look at this. I actually really thought this was quite interesting. In Tarna's situation, you can only imagine that he's pooping his pants right now. Like, pure and simply, he is pooping his pants in this moment, knowing that all he has to do, he's got all the time in the world. He's currently, I think even right now, he's like 10 seconds up on world record out of Koros. So he knows he has a couple seconds to play with, so he doesn't go for anything super risky. He lines it up and just goes for the standard whip jump. Charges forward, accidentally bonks because of the nerves, but still manages to close it out. And you can see he's like already like freaking out a little bit. And of course, he nails Nefarious as any runner at this level would almost every time. And he closes out his very, very first world record in Up Your Arsenal, NG plus no QE. Tarna, if you're watching this video, I'm so proud of you. I really, really am. You know, I know it's been a long time coming. I know we've had our ups and downs over the years. But I'm really happy that we're friendly now. I know we're not super close at all by any stretch of the imagination, but I just want to let you know how proud I am that you never gave up. You always stuck with it. And you overcame your demons, you know? Runners, I think a lot of speedrunners, we fall into this hobby because we're looking to prove something either to other people or to ourselves. And I know that Tarna has talked about his struggles with imposter syndrome. He's talked about never feeling like he's actually good enough. But you are, and you've proved it today. And no matter what happens from this point forward, no one can ever take this away from you. So I hope that you're living it up right now, dude. I really, really do. So as far as a couple of questions, just to answer any last little things that you may all be wondering. Question number one, I'm sure on most of your minds if you're watching my content. Zem, are you going to take world record back? Okay. This is a complicated answer. Actually, I'm not going to start with that. I'm going to start with how do I feel in this moment as the person who just had his massive world record streak broken. I am, admittedly, there's a little part of me that's like, oh man, like I'm a little bummed on the inside, just a little bit. I would say like 10% of me is feeling bummed, but 90% of me honestly just feels relieved. Do you all understand how much pressure is put on somebody when they're supposed to hold up like this like streak for years and years? There have been so many times where I've felt like this colossal wave of insecurity and pressure to just like always be improving my time in this category, always be number one. And, a lot of you are probably aware, I've barely touched this category over the past year, and so I can't even be upset about it. Like, if I wanted to keep the streak that badly, I would have done something about it sooner, and that's not to take away from Tarna's achievement. That's not to say, oh, I'm going to fucking body him. Sorry for the language. But like, it's, what can I even say? Like, I'm just happy for the guy. Like, I sat in a voice call after Tarna beat my time. I got a ping from Sneepy, one of my closest friends in all of speedrunning. And he said, dude, you got to join this voice call we're all in. And I was like, oh, do I have to? Like, do I really have to show up to my own funeral? And Sneepy was like, come on. And so I was like, okay, I'll join the call. And I didn't know what to expect, but it honestly just filled me with so much happiness to see Tarna so happy and to see so many people happy for him, you know? Because at the end of the day, like, of course I could take it personally, right? But why would I do that when I can just choose to have fun with all these people who are having so much happiness as well? Not every day can be about us, right? Everyone has to have their day, and today is Tarna's day. And so I was very, very happy to exist in that moment with him and share that with him. I truly felt a little bit honored to be a part of that. And I'm so glad, Sneepy, if you're watching this, I'm glad you peer pressured me into joining that call, because it was just so much fun. We just hung out for like, there was a bunch of us, like 10 or 15 people from the Ratchet community. We were all hanging out in a call, just like laughing and posting memes and just having a great time. And so yeah, I'm overwhelmingly, even though there's a little part of me that's like, ooh, I want to get it back. There's a much bigger part of me that's just very happy for him, and I know that you know, just because somebody else has to have, just because someone else is successful doesn't mean that it hurts me in any way, right? So now to go back to the other question of, am I going to take this world record back? Listen, everybody. I love Ouya. I really, really do. I will eventually come back to this category. I will. I can say that with confidence because I always do. But I truly don't feel any sense of urgency. You know, I really don't. I kind of want to just do the things that make me happy. Now that I have this pressure lifted off of my shoulders, I want to try to take this chance to reinvent myself. I don't just want to be the guy who, I don't want to be the NPC who just sits and does the same category all the time because that's what people expect of him. I'm so much more than that, you know, and I can believe in myself to be more than that. So I am going to include this in the bot project, of course. I'm going to come back to this category, and I'm going to try to do my best to give Tarna give his cheek some clapping. But you know, as of this moment, it's Tarna's show right now, and that's okay. So someday I'll be back, and I'll be implementing all these sick new strategies, and I'll be trying to do my best to lower this world record, and continue to improve myself. But for now, you know, I'm totally content with what I'm doing right now. I love streaming what I'm streaming at the moment. I love the idea of branching out to other Ratchet games, reinventing myself as somebody who's not just the Ouya god, or like, you know, as some would call me, or like the Ouya guy in general. That's a good term to use. I'm not just going to be the Ouya guy. I want to be the Ratchet guy. All right. So I will come back to this category someday. And when I do, Tarna and we're going to have a ball. But that being said, there's still another, lest we forget about Captain Wiffle, because he is still a top tier Ouya runner. He's in third place right now, but he could very easily be join the 27 club the next time he decides to grind this out. And maybe this could be the motivation he needs. Maybe this is the motivation a lot of runners need to pick up the game again. I'm beatable. Listen, world record, it can be beaten. So maybe this will be what the community needs for Ouya to be revived a little bit more. So I am viewing this as a very, very positive experience overall. My pride does not feel hurt or wounded, and I'll get over it. I'm a big boy. But for these past 6 years, I will say it has been such a joy to have held this world record as long as I have. Who knows how long it'll take for somebody else to beat my streak. You know what I mean? Like to beat my streak themselves. Like, who knows how long that'll take? Especially because there are more and more runners all the time. But I'll never say never, you know? So to anybody who's looking to make a name for themselves in the Ratchet, history books, you can do it too. Thank you so much for watching this. Again, I'm so sorry about the barber incident, but it's important, and I just wanted to get this video done. Maybe next time I'll edit that out, but I'm not too particularly worried about it at the moment. Until next time, everybody, peace out.